Hi everyone, welcome to the Emily's List social media webinar. My name is Ruby. I'm the National Outreach Manager here at Emily's List, and I'm really excited to be with you all today. I'm going to be doing the introduction and then reading your questions out a little bit later in the broadcast. But first, I just want to intro Emily's List. So Emily's List is the largest resource for women in politics. We recruit, train, and endorse pro-choice Democratic women up and down the ballot at every level. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about social media. We have with us today our presenter, Amanda Foster, who is the Deputy Digital Director here at Emily's List. She's been here for just over a year after running the digital program at the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence. She is originally from a very red district in Indiana, and she couldn't be more thrilled to be helping women in red and blue districts run for office and win. Before she comes on, I'm going to go over our norms for today. So our first norm is to invest in our time together. We'll take a question and answer break. So just make sure you listen, write down any notes you have and any questions you might have as well. Again, all questions are valid. I'm sure if you are thinking of a question, maybe like 10 more people probably have it that are on this webinar. So just make sure that you put your questions in there, and we'll be asking those a little bit later in the webinar. Our slides that you'll be seeing today, they are internal. We put a lot of work into these, and we just want everyone to respect the sisterhood. These slides are made by women for women, so you have that cutting edge extra bit of edge on your campaign when you start out. So just make sure you're keeping those internal and respecting that sisterhood. Awesome, so now I'm going to hand it over to Amanda, and I'll be back on later to ask your questions.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Ruby. I really appreciate you introducing me and giving that nice introduction. And I'm really excited to be here with you guys today to teach a little bit more about social media. So first off, I just want to give you the webinar goals. First off, want to teach you the importance of a simple social media content calendar. We use one here at Emily's List. It's crucial for all social media programs, I would say, at least in politics. Learn what kind of content your campaign should be posting. I want to, give you some ideas for when you do start that account, and understand how to use your limited resources, how to scale your program. We all have limited time, money, people, resources, so want to make sure that you can do that within the confines. So why use social media? You want to galvanize your support. You want to meet your people where you are. I think there's still a little bit of a stereotype that social media is something that young people use. My mom is 61. She's on Facebook all the time sharing stuff, talking about, candidates she supports. So you want to meet them there. You want to build visibility. If people see you posting every day, they're going to remember your name. They're going to remember that you're running, and they might share your posts too, so that their friends see your name and your name gets out there a little bit more. You want to uplift your campaign news, especially in like small races. There's not always a lot of opportunity for media, so you want to make sure that you push that out everywhere you can, and you want to give your followers an action. Sometimes that's just sharing. Sometimes that is joining an event that you have. You have an event on Facebook that you want them to come to, but you want to give your followers something to do to support your campaign. Now, social media is not the be-all, end-all, though. There's a lot of stuff that you can't do through social media. Social media, you can't vote on social media. Probably a good thing, considering they've had like hacking scandals and stuff like that. You can't fundraise on social media. It's very, very hard to fundraise through social media. I don't know of anyone who's been super successful in it. There are definitely other channels to do that, but social media is not the one. It doesn't replace call time. A lot of candidates hate call time. Sorry, it's a great idea. You should definitely continue to do your call time. And it doesn't replace canvassing. Nothing beats getting out there to see your constituents face-to-face and addressing their concerns face-to-face. And also, you may want to know which platform should you be on. Maybe you've heard of TikTok. That's a great platform to be on if you're a 7th grader running for class president. But if you are running a political campaign, then that's not such a good one. You should be on Facebook, though. Facebook has the traffic. Again, it's not just young people on Facebook. Facebook is for all ages. You can do a lot of audience building and events through Facebook. So if you're having a meetup where everyone's coming to get together to pick up Canvas packets and go out, you can put that on Facebook. So it's a great way to build events. Here's a Facebook page from Michelle Wu. She is a city councilwoman and she has a great Facebook page. So if you want to see an example of a good Facebook page for a smaller campaign, check out hers. The other platform you should definitely be on is Twitter, strengths influencers. So, you know, Kim Kardashian is probably not going to retweet you, but an influencer within your community may retweet you, may follow you, so you definitely want to be there for that. Media engagement, almost every reporter in the world at this point is on Twitter, so it's a good place for them to see you, see what you're doing. And you can get together with your supporters and allied organizations. So if you support labor, you can follow, you know, the labor union in your hometown, retweet them. They'll probably do the same back for you. And here's a good example of someone who does really well for Twitter. This is Donica Rome. She is in the Virginia House of Delegates, and she has an incredible Twitter presence, so I would definitely recommend checking her out. And so how to use your account. So first off, have a dedicated social media email account and secure passwords. If you've attended events through us before, attended webinars, if you're on our Run to Win Facebook group, you've probably heard the importance of secure passwords. Use a password manager like LastPass. That's definitely crucial. You don't want anyone getting into your accounts. Clean up your personal accounts and have separate personal and campaign accounts. You may have had your Twitter account since 2008. Maybe you were back in college in those days. You were tweeting about going to the bar. You don't want that on your professional account. And if you're going to like your son's baseball game, maybe you want to live tweet about that. That's great to do on your personal account. That's not so good to do on your campaign account. And also handles and pages should include your name. Your name is going to be on a ballot, so you want to make sure that your name gets out there in connection with the good stuff that you're doing. Next, we want to talk about scaling your program. You only have so many people, so it can be tempting to try to get on all the social media platforms, but if you don't have the people to do it, you don't have to do that. You only have so much time in your day. You do have to go canvas. You do have to, you know, do that call time, and your volunteers have to, you know, canvas with you. They have other stuff that they need to be doing, and there's only so much time before Election Day, and there's only so much money. So you want to make sure that you are making the most of those resources and using them the best way possible. So on that note, if you create a social media platform, if you build it, you have to use it. If you create a Twitter account and you don't tweet for 3 weeks and someone comes by to see what you're about, they heard about your office, you know, they may come by and be like, they can't even run a Twitter account. How are they gonna, you know, run this program or hold this office? So definitely post regularly. And by post regularly, I don't mean you have to post 200 times a day. I would aim for, you know, at least once a day per Twitter and per Facebook, and, you know, retweet people on Twitter too. And keep your messaging consistent. So you should have a comms plan for your campaign. Social media should be feeding into that. It shouldn't be a totally different thing that's, you know, not on the comms plan. And finally, depending on your resources, if you do have the people, you can add sites like Instagram, Flickr, YouTube. People do like to see themselves. So, you know, Instagram lends itself really well to that, as does Flickr. So if you have the people, feel free to scale your program and use more social media, but you don't have to. Next of all, the content calendar. The content calendar is crucial. We do have one here at Emily's List for our social media accounts, and one person should be controlling it, and the person who controls it should not be the candidate. They will want to put things like holidays on it. Like we have the fact that Mother's Day is this weekend, so we want to uplift candidates who are mothers. So that's just the kind of thing that you would put on a content calendar. You want to vary the type of content, campaign updates, calendar invites. So again, on Facebook, that lends itself really well to events. Invite people to come canvas with you. Photos, videos, again, your volunteers want to see themselves. They want to see themselves out in the community supporting you. A few all text posts, articles, and memes. You There is a way to over meme. Try not to do that. Don't take advantage of every meme on the internet, but you want to show that, you know, you're a person who your supporters can relate to. Here's an example of a content calendar. I'm not sure how big it is on your screens, but you know, it has holidays up at the top. It has debate days, election days. This one is pretty involved. It has the days of the week up at the top. It doesn't have to be this advanced, but this is a good spot to start from, and you can either, you know, scale it up or scale it down from here depending on your needs. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions that you all might have from the first part of the presentation.
All right, awesome. So I have 3 questions for you, Amanda. So the first is, how do I raise money on social media?
Sure. So social media is not a great place to raise money. Maybe you've seen, you know, your friends have raised money for things on Facebook. Facebook fundraisers are only for nonprofit organizations, so it's very difficult to raise money through social media for a campaign. What I would recommend is maybe pushing people from your social media to other channels, to in-person events, and getting them more involved in that way, and then you know, they might donate from there.
Okay, amazing. The next question I have is, should I try to get my Facebook followers to join my email list, or keep them separated since they already hear from me?
Yeah, I would say definitely try to get your Facebook followers to join your email list. Try to get your Twitter followers to join your email list. First off, they like you, so they want to hear from you. Second off, what they're hearing on Facebook and what they're hearing on email is not the exact same content. You can tell more of a story on email. You literally are character limited on Twitter, and people, when they're scrolling through social media, they just want to see short little posts. But when they're on email, you know, you can give them a lot more content, and that's also a way to get them to donate. To go back to the first question. Asking for donations via email does work. Asking for donations via Facebook or Twitter is not something that works as well.
Okay, great. So we actually had 2 questions come in. So we have 2 more questions for you. One of them is, what platform should I use for my content calendar? And the examples are a Google Calendar, Excel. What do you recommend?
It depends, whatever works for you. Internally at Emily's List, we use a Google Calendar, or a Google Doc rather, just because that way multiple people can see it, but there's only one person who has access to edit it. But that way we can see, you know, what's on deck, what's going to be happening on social media. But it also has to deal with what works for you specifically. If you aren't on a Google Suite, an Excel is fine. If you want to just draw lines on a physical piece of paper, that's fine. It has to work for you and your supporters.
Great. And then our last question is, should I separate my campaign social media from my personal social media?
Yes, absolutely. And actually, here's a good spot to talk about Facebook pages. You don't become friends with Amanda for delegate. You become friends with Amanda Foster, but you don't become friends with Amanda for delegate. So your campaign should probably be a Facebook page that people can like and people can follow that way. And then you are an individual who can talk about, you know, whatever your interests are. And that's not to say that you need to keep your interests out of your campaign. You should definitely be an authentic person, but you know, you can be more casual on your personal social media, and you don't have to have a content calendar, obviously, for your personal social media too.
Okay, awesome. Well, that is it for the questions I have. Thanks, everybody.
Great, thank you. And so with that, I just want to reiterate those key takeaways. You should have a written calendar, you know, through whatever format works best for you, but you should have a calendar that's written down. Separate your personal and your professional accounts, and delegate social media management. This shouldn't be you are waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're like, oh, we should post this. You should have someone else, you know, who's managing that process for you. You've got enough to deal with, so you can give that to a trusted volunteer. So with that, I just want to say thank you so much to our partners. We could not do what we do without you. So thank you today to AFT, ActBlue, NEA, UFCW, and AFSCME. We really appreciate working with you guys. And also, check out the Emily's List Training Center. There's so many different trainings on there on nearly every topic you can think of when it comes to running for office. So definitely give that a look and join that. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciated my time with you, and have a good rest of your Friday.